I don't know where to start. Maybe this should be a conversation of my story, who I am, what I want to become. Maybe. I think it's complicated. Innovate Robber as a YouTube channel was originally supposed to be something that talks about me, but is also me. It's confusing, really. And I recently got really into Pokemon cards and I made another channel called Innovate TCG. And while it might not have grown as quickly, the amount of selling was ramping up, but I quickly realized that there's certain aspects that I didn't enjoy. For example, I didn't like live streaming. I didn't like streaming all the time on TikTok Live. I felt like I was spending a lot of time and not necessarily getting the same value that I really wanted out of it. Anyways, it's complicated. What would I, where do I start? Innovate Robber as a channel is the original goal or the overall goal of this channel is just me, right? Who am I? And as of right now, the current goal is now going to be set that I will upload a video onto this channel every single day until the end of the year. Hopefully, I can pre record some episodes because I don't expect myself to have time to upload at all times or whenever I want to. I don't know if my audio is desynced. Hopefully, it isn't. I feel like it is. Maybe if I turn camera on, turn back on. Oh, let's see this. Oh, you got Charizard with there, right there with you. But oh, let's see. Ta-da! I feel like it's the thing. It's whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, who am I? Well, I'm a guy that is currently unemployed and is actually a math teacher who likes math, actually. But I really like education. I really like explaining things. I have a master's in business administration. And I'm unemployed, which is pretty comedic. It's just really hard to get a job right now. I applied to a shit ton of jobs. I think I was at 200 applications and I kind of just lost interest. Mostly because I do make a good amount of money selling Pokemon cards, but it's one of those things where it's not giving necessarily a lot right now. But practice makes perfect. You optimize, you get better, and you keep improving, kind of thing. So I don't know where we go from here. I think I'm creating content because I do need money. I have made this or recorded this video at least 3 times now, and I think I like this one for sure. It's me. This is the channel of me, and this is going to be conversations about things that I think I care about or that I want to care about. I think I've uploaded a version of what this video was, I think 5 or 6 years ago, and I privated the video because I didn't like it. I didn't like myself 6 years ago. And it's confusing, but I think I mean it in the way of I improve the version I am, I think every 3 months. Every 3 months, there is a different version of me. Sometimes it's complicated for romantic reasons, and sometimes it's complicated because sometimes I lose interest in people. And it's very hard to have those conversations with friends or with my significant others. But it's tricky. I have ADD. I think I'm neurodivergent. So I had a therapist person tell me or do like a small test on me and they said that I was neurodivergent, but I generally haven't enjoyed that label or I don't feel like that label necessarily does it. In some sense, it kind of just says I'm autistic and I'm like, yeah, it's valid. And I don't know, man. I've never viewed myself as special. That's really the whole thing that I've always gonna revolve around it. I'm not actually not a very religious person, and I actually became non-religious because one day I told myself that I'm not special, and that was enough to actually make me feel satisfied in life. Actually, it's very confusing, but that's pretty much the gist of it. I told myself I'm not special, and that was enough for me. That was enough for me to feel as if that life is fulfilling in its own way as long as I make it fulfilling, and I'm okay with that. Just be a good person to everybody and be helpful to people. And I think that's why I enjoy teaching. I used to sell cars, and the reason I hated selling cars, I think, is simply because I didn't feel like I was providing value to the world. And I think sometimes it's complicated for me to do content simply because when you create content, I want it to be meaningful, I want it to be valuable. And here, this video might not feel as meaningful or as valuable to me because it doesn't feel like you, as a viewer watching this, are necessarily gaining much value out of it, other than, I guess, learning more about who I am and what I am. I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy, and I like making content because I like looking at the little blue line going up and down when you're uploading and seeing the numbers go up, that dopamine hit that I get. I did get a bachelor's in business marketing, and I think making these videos also is a way for me to acknowledge or understand a little bit more of what it is to do content creation, not only for me, but for brands as well. And doing one for your personal brand, I think, is important, and acknowledging or understanding that is important. I do want to pick up more content creators. Anyone that's under 1,000 kind of like subs or under 10,000 Instagram followers, I kind of want to pick up more content creators. Right now, I think I'm working with 3, top of mind. And I started a podcast, which is really cool. It's called Idle Screens. Idle Screens. I think I typed it wrong on my titling. Idle Screens podcast, where you know how in the old Windows computers the little screen would just go from corner to corner and it would just kind of like top up, stuff like that. I do like the Moist Critical format. I think that's basically what we're doing right now. I do like that format of just talking, just telling you guys what's the news, what's the update, what is the drama kind of thing. I do feel as if I'm going to try to avoid drama topics simply because I don't find them very engaging. I don't know if I'm going to get into politics. I do want to go back into teaching, and talking about politics is very weird right now. So because it's not one of those things where debating is okay, it's weird and it's complicated, right? But I think it's interesting because I think I just gotten so desensitized when I consume a certain type of medium or a certain type of content. So consuming politics, economics with very naysayers or very down, hey, be sad or be frustrated about this or feel gloomy or feel frustrated. I generally avoid that type of content because I acknowledge that it's just not. Okay, bro, sure, like let's be sad or like upset about everything. And that's why I generally recommend people not to watch mainstream news, simply because if I tried any literally all of them list it, I actually hit all of mainstream news simply because they try to piss you off, and that always annoys me a lot, where as I'm watching and I'm trying to consume information, but that's the thing, right? It's live for 24 hours. Okay, here's news for 24 hours. They gotta make you want to watch it. How do they make you want to watch it? They rile you up. They piss you off. They say, hey, hate this thing, this thing sucks, and this is why you're gonna suffer and stuff like that. But I was always a big fan of what news was as I was growing up, before the internet ruined everything and before everything was about clicks. I enjoyed news when it was just, here's the information and here's the context of the information. Here's what you can do with that information. Here's where that information can benefit you, or this is what you might want to acknowledge now that you understand this information. And in the videos that we're going to go ahead and lead up to do that information, or the videos after this video, hopefully I don't just do full on rants about Pokemon and other things. That's really what those conversations are going to be about. And if you do enjoy them, I hope you stick around, you watch them, and you enjoy them with me. I'm becoming a better speaker. Hopefully you can give me pointers here. I'm going to try to not edit videos simply because I don't like editing videos. But since we've been doing this podcast, I've tried really hard on becoming a better speaker, not using repetitive wording, and trying to be more efficient with it. If you notice something I'm repeating or how I'm verbalizing something, please let me know. I know I said the word something there a lot, but it was obviously because I'm trying to figure out how to verbiage myself without being repetitive as well. So I'm still practicing, as you can tell. Hopefully, that doesn't ruin your perspective of me. Overall, who am I today? Today, I am someone that has a whiteboard in his room, that has a bike in his room, and is trying to improve. And that is something that I can attest to, and I'm going to keep trying to do. I like Pokemon more than, I think I said it at least 3 times. I enjoy everything I'm doing right now. I enjoy the person I am today. I'm not upset about it. And I think a lot of the times what makes people upset, what makes people unhappy is not being happy with who they are. But I always tell everybody, and I will tell you as my dear viewer, I don't think this is going to get over 100 views, as my dear one of 100 viewer, if you are unsatisfied with life, that is your choice. And if you cannot be satisfied with life, that is also your choice. Because there are people out there who will live in their car and will be happier than the millionaire at the top of the penthouse. And when I acknowledged that, I really understood and acknowledged that if you cannot be happy living in a cardboard box under a bridge, then you wouldn't be happy if you had $1 million. So be satisfied, but acknowledge that you could also want more. And this is an example of I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with what I have. And yet, here I am giving you a paradox, right? Where I'm creating content because I want to do more. So just find that sweet spot for yourself, because I think I found the sweet spot for myself. And maybe, even though my camera's not centered and I'm not in the middle of my frame, hopefully you can be in the middle of your frame and in the middle of your life. So if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe. I have currently a bet with a friend. So if I beat him in subs, big W's. If I don't beat him in subs, I lose a bet and I'm going to cry. Thank you for watching.